Welcome to J.R. Hendrick Texan Night, the podcast that deals with the early life of yours truly. And now, here is your host, Jimmy. May 4th, 1994. 4 a.m. J.R. wakes up and puts on his headphones to listen to the Blake Carter Minute. With all the scandals going on with Whitewater, Webster Hubble on his last leg before returning home to Little Rock, it seems that the man that we have elected can't seem to lead anymore. And what does he turn his focus more on? Foreign policy. What a joke. 6 a.m. Central. Jim is sitting in the front lounge of the mansion in Washington, D.C. He's reading a BBS contributor article by Walter Lipscomb. Jim had been following him since 1988, when he wrote a post chronicling the accomplishments of the Reagan years. Lipscomb was a Bush supporter in 88 and 92, and would become a fast friend of Jim Hendrick. 6 p.m. Central. At Denny's, J.R. arrives to have breakfast with Grandma Elizabeth and Kevin McDonald, who are already there. I'll take some egg whites, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, and orange juice, please, Kevin McDonald said. Son, are you on some kind of strict diet? Grandma Elizabeth asked. Forgive me, ma'am. I'm an athletic. All-American QB. Well, my husband would love that. You know, he would like you. He used to make sports bets back in the 70s and 80s while he was running the ranch. Interesting, Kevin said. Look, has J.R. told you? Told me what? That's okay. Never mind, I told you. Good morning, J.R. said. He turned to the waitress. Yes, may I have some pancakes with sugar, some fried eggs, and some hash browns with some orange juice? Junior, that type of diet is atrocious. You got to start taking better care of yourself with all you've been through. What you mean, like with my criticism I went through with Brad? Brad's a fool who's only going to keep using you. Look, it's nice to see that you care, Kevin, J.R. said. I do care. I'm your roommate, and I'm one of your closest friends. And I want the very best for you. 9 a.m. In business and professional speech class, the final review is underway. Professor Diedrich informs J.R. that he will be taking the test under Louise Marston at the Texas Tech Library at the Center for Visually Impaired. (10 a.m. Eastern). Jim is at his desk making preparations for today's small business hearing. 12 p.m. The hearing of the Small Business Administration in Washington, D.C. is underway. Of concern at the meeting is dealing with what went wrong at the Malibu negotiations. Jim suggested sending one of his interns to Los Angeles to help solve the problem with a possible Treasury grant. (12 p.m. Central). Dave Smith pulls up his Dodge Charger in front of Gordon Hall. "Okay, let's go," J.R. said, getting into the car. "Good to see you, Dave." I tell you what, next year I'm excited to be rooming with you and Kevin McDonald and Charlie Nation. Jared said, Charlie Nation, we won't be able to study in peace. I know, you're not the only one that feels that way. Dad's thrown a fit with housing because they made this assignment. Well, I suppose we can handle it, regardless of Charlie Nation. They drive to Spanky's to have a hamburger. 2 p.m. Central. Outside Spanky's, JR and Dave talk. Man, I'm having a good time. Well, me too. We haven't done this in a while, Dave said. Man, my stomach hurts. The kidneys hurt. Hurts. I'll feel your pain, JR. All these finals is giving me a stress headache. I know. And I got a PRSSA meeting tomorrow around dinner time. It'll be okay, man. Come on. In the car, JR and Dave talk. Well, man, it's finally over. Thank goodness, Dave said. We can go on to our summer internships. I agree. It's been fun. "6 p.m. Central. JR is having dinner at the Spirit Club. Pastor Alexander is delivering another important message about the Sabbath day. Hope you enjoy listening to J.R. Hendrick Texan Night. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of the adventure. It's J.R. Hendrick saying goodbye, and until next time, get ready for the rest of the story. God bless you guys.